Hey, it's Roy Richardson, your friendly neighborhood tech troublemaker, and tonight I'm excited because it's a content creators meetup. I know I was supposed to have one in October. I'm just a little late. There's a creator camp, a bunch of other stuff. Life happens, and now thankfully it's creator meetup time. And so joining me tonight, I have Amie Webster from Motif Music Studios, and I have Hank Russell from the Hank Russell Invitation. And I obviously have something playing in the background, just the very thing I said, don't do that. So anyway, and tonight, as you know, when we have our creator meetups, we kind of talk about origin stories, we kind of talk about challenges we've run into, and we talk about things that we're hoping to do in the future. And along the way, I have fantastic community comes in and ask questions or to just hang out and say hi. And so let's get started. Amie, I'm gonna put you on the spot first, and I was gonna say, first of all, kind of introduce yourself better than I did, and tell us how you kind of got started in content creation.
Oh, I love that. Thanks for having us here today, Roy. So I am a enthusiastic music educator. I've taught for 26 years for piano, and during COVID, I was like, "Oh, I need to get videos out to students." And so I started to upload, and then I thought, "Man, this is a lot of fun." And then it's changed since then. Now my niche is inspiring music teachers and talking about the piano music of contemporary composers. And so I call myself a bit of the accidental YouTuber. I just landed on YouTube and started having too much fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. You've done doing videos about the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and
Yeah.
listened to that soundtrack nonstop through the holiday season. So I'm just such a big fan of Snoopy and Peanuts and everything. I have Snoopy on my watch right now, but anyway.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, very cool, very cool. Hank, tell us how you got started with content creation.
Well, I was in broadcasting for in radio broadcasting for years, and then when the COVID hit, I was a little lost. I lost my job at the radio station,
Mm.
which fortunately was only part time. I have a normal job just like everybody else. But then about I'd say probably like 9 or 10 months into the COVID, so to speak, I started getting interested in maybe doing video podcasting and content creation, and I was started collecting equipment and stuff like that. And then I talked to Tom Buck. I don't know if y'all know who Tom
Mm-hmm.
Buck is or not. And I had a meeting with him, and he said, would you rather, if you do this, you could either use OBS or Ecamm. And so I got in. So he had convinced me to use Ecamm, and I wanted to get into broadcasting, and I'll get into details later, I guess, about like what it is I do on there. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got into it. Was that I got out of broadcasting, and now I'm been doing my thing with this for a short amount of time now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Um, I was just thinking about, so we kind of all got I kind of got my start. We were talking about Lori Petrucci before the show, who you got to hang out with at Creator Camp, and I was gonna say, Lori, it's her fault. That's why I got started doing live streaming. So,
Oh man.
from Live Streaming Pros. So that's kind of, but a lot of the folks already know my origin story there. So let's do some shouts. Let's see who all's hanging out there with us tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see. I saw Dagan. How you doing out there tonight, sir?
Hmm.
David, how you doing, sir? Florence, how you doing tonight? Dagan saying hi to Florence. John Lacey in the house. Yeah, aloha, fam. Stressed out, stress free. Hey, welcome. Let's see. Oh,
Oh,
Awesome Wood says, I've been playing piano for 4 years. My skills are lacking. How do I get awesome? So Amie, how does Matt get awesome?
1% at a time. And I love that we talk about that in the creator zone as well, right? But just one little action step every
Yeah,
single day. And I'm still learning 35 years later. So
yeah,
little steps. And of course, there's online piano teachers too, like myself, that love to work
yeah.
on students. So.
Oh, cool. Let's see. Also, we got Fish Stick. Hey, Philip, how you doing? Florence saying hey today, and what's up, John? So everybody just saying hi. Folks getting into
Love
the
it.
chat tonight. So welcome everybody. Definitely thanks for coming. So, you got your start, Amie, and your since my comment goes away, go away, comment. Anyway, there
That's
we
okay.
go. It's my fault. I had a button for it and then I forgot to program it. So anyway, um, I'm really been enjoying watching your piano, all the arrangements and stuff you do, and kind of how did you kind of figure out? You know what? I'm going to make this as a YouTube thing, and you said kind of sure to inspire music teachers and kind of help music instructors work with students and that type of thing and help them. What made you say I'm gonna go hit this camera, I'm gonna hit this go live button, or I'm gonna hit this record button? What really kind of struck that spark to you? What made you say I could do YouTube?
Yeah, isn't that a crazy thing? It takes a lot of guts. I'm in awe of each of you that just hit record again and again, right? I think for me, the niche was really hard for me to find because at first I was making just uploads for my own students. But then I've always worked alongside a team of educators at Motif Music Studios. So we've had between 3 to 12 teachers working for us for the last 14 years. And so then I started to think, oh, I really love nurturing other teachers as well to make a big impact. And on YouTube, I felt like I could do more of that. And I started to meet these composers, which isn't the best thing to niche into songs that nobody's heard of. But I started to hear about these composers that had this beautiful music. Some of them are arrangements, like you mentioned, Christmas time is here, but many of them are songs nobody's really heard about or they haven't heard about the composer. So then I started live streaming and was interviewing composers, and I've got about 17 of those up on the channel. And yeah, it's just it's more just like the excitement of learning about creatives doing great things, and hopefully that inspires others too.
Yeah, good stuff. I think you kind of, so you started with radio first, and now you're pivoting toward doing podcast,
Hmm.
video podcasting. How do you think that those two things? Did you interview people when you were on radio? And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, and is that what really kind of inspired you to want to try to go forward with a YouTube kind of podcast or a video podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like to be the one man show, so to speak. I want it, and when you got to remember, I'd been doing radio so long that when podcasting kind of came around, podcasting is more conversational as opposed to, hey, everybody, welcome in. The weather outside today, the temperature is 72 degrees, that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
so let's get back into it with you. So, I didn't want to do that when I was on the radio. So this was a natural transition. The hardest part is probably, getting the viewership and I was spoiled in radio. I mean, you're talking an average show was probably 40,000 people. And then, on a good day, it was well over 200,000. So it's a
Wow.
little bit different because if I had like a day where I didn't have a guest or anything on there, I'd just take phone calls most of the day about a certain topic or anything like that. So
Yeah, very cool. So, I mean, do you find kind of what's your process for picking guests for your show?
the idea of probably 99% of my guests is that if it doesn't matter what the niche is, as long as they create value in other people.
Hmm.
Like I had a guy on there I had a guy on not too long ago that makes bourbon right outside of San Francisco. But the thing about it is that his story, he had kind of gone from like a rags to, metaphorically speaking, riches type, thing. And there was value in his story. And I'm hoping that whoever listened to that interview could be inspired, not necessarily just by not going out and, making whiskey for a living, but, to kind of, a way to approach things.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely got to make a living somehow, right? So,
Exactly.
but I mean, was his focus kind of as a hobby, or was that was actually his passion and that's what he was doing?
I don't know if it was. I don't know exactly. I mean, he if you listen to the interview, I believe he mentioned that he kind of did a pivot from one profession to another, and actually went to school and college for it.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know how prestigious the college is. That just, I mean, I don't think it matters. I don't think you have to go to like Harvard or Princeton or something like that. But obviously, he's doing very well, and he's got Scottie Pippen, who is one of who his company sponsors now. So it's quite a transition from what he was doing before to what he's doing now, and he's barely in his 30s.
Yeah. Oh wow. Amie, the composers that you've had on your show, kind of they kind of think of you being on your show as a promotional thing. I mean, how does that work? How do you meet up with composers like you have to get them on your show, to have guests on your show?
Yeah, that was an interesting journey for sure. And unlike Hank, I had no experience interviewing people. And I was like, yes, I'm going to interview someone. And then I was like, I'll do it live. And then I was like, oh, wow, I need to learn how to interview people and how to go live. So that was exciting. But yeah, most of the guests are just like, one, they're really inspired that somebody else is doing some of that hard work of promotion and getting the word out there about their music. It's really hard for a lot of creatives to be like, okay, I'm here and I'm composing all this music, but now I also have to become a marketer as well. And so I think a lot of them were just super enthusiastic to say, wow, I get to talk about the creative process and how I find inspiration and who my music's for. And so that's been really, really neat to have that opportunity.
And so I mean, you play a lot of music that you said you play a lot of songs that people haven't heard of, but you also play a lot of music that people have heard of. Do you ever how does that fit within YouTube's kind of copyright strike type world? Is it because you're doing kind of interpreting the song as opposed to playing the original? I mean, how does that work exactly?
That's a great question, and one I've taken some care with. If I am playing a piece like, say, Top Gun or Blackbird that are on my channel, I pretty much know that somebody else will get the monetary benefit of that
Mm-hmm.
video. And so then it's just that bonus of having a bit more watch time out there. If it's completely transformational, like I was walking a student through it, then sometimes you can say you can contest it. But really, a benefit for me of introducing these newer composers is the fact that they aren't copyrighted in the same way. And I ask permission, and most of them are thrilled for me to play it. And I promote the links for buying the sheet music. So I'm not actually trying to teach someone, although I put a lot of pedagogy tips. So you'll sometimes see that running script of like how I might introduce it to a student. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Um, and Hank, for you, just what kind of challenges have you come about in kind of transitioning from radio to doing podcasting?
Well, as far as like, once again, being spoiled in radio is that I had my own producer. That they always have you always have somebody produce. And so all I had to do was, I knew the soundboards and stuff like that. But as things kind of progressed, I started in the mid to early 2000s, and I'm still relatively young, but I started when I was a teenager.
Oh wow.
And so I'd been doing that forever. So the biggest challenge for me was like, learning how to set up the camera, learning how to set up the Rodecaster Pro 2 over here. The Rodecaster Pro 2 is like a computer on its own in many aspects. Then, learning how to use Ecamm, and like when I had this idea, I didn't start for almost 2.5 years afterwards because it was so much for me to learn. So that's been the biggest challenge. And then, I've had a few setbacks over the past, several months and stuff like that, but nothing dramatic in the last few. But
Right.
that's been the hardest part, is just learning all this new stuff, and then figuring out how to actually kind of get an audience potentially. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
What would you say? I mean, have you kind of figured out? So your niche is what? What have you decided your niche is at this point?
talking about who it is that I want to interview.
Well, I mean, what's the focus of your channel? Have you kind of determined that, or are you still kind of feeling your way around for that?
I would say, like I said, once again, if if I can interview people that create value in other people or some sort of knowledge or something like that, then I don't care what the topic is about. As far because I've interviewed mental health therapists, I had a law of attraction expert on there who also wrote like 3 books, and then let's see. But you get my point. I don't really like. I had a move. Okay, I had a guy that was this guy named Hawk Youngkins. He was on there, and he got funded for $300 million to do a TV show and TV series on Paramount 2 days before the writers shut down. So it's so. But there was a lot of value in talking to him about that, especially for those like younger filmmakers.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that. There's a lot of folks out there. Let's find out what everybody's talking about. So, let's see.
I see my boy Sammy on here. Hey, Sammy.
Sammy Superstar. Yeah, okay. All right. Clarence says, "Howdy, Matt." All right. How do you get the Carnegie Hall practice? Yes,
I haven't figured that one out.
Excellent question.
Yeah. Florence saying hi to everybody. Yep. Writing music may be the hardest thing to do. It seems very hard to do, seriously. So
yeah.
Amie, have you written? I mean, obviously, making arrangements is one thing, but definitely writing original music is definitely a challenge. Do you then kind of say, let me show your students, hey, this is one of the songs I just wrote. Do you want to hear it? Did you want to try it? Do you write music? What do you seek out to do you have a Spotify channel we need to be all going to go find?
That's a neat question. I've actually done it kind of in the reverse because I was more of an educator and I have all this advanced theory knowledge and like writing harmonies. It's more like Bach chorales, which isn't always used a lot if you're going the mainstream. But one thing it did equip me to do is when I kind of both held rules in one hand and then creativity in the other hand, I can often guide students in music writing. So even though I don't write a lot myself, I do love to improvise. And I know some of the structures to get students started. And more I realize students can write beautiful music. And sometimes it's just straight from their imagination. It comes with freedom at the instrument and getting their fingers moving. And so it's been really inspiring over the years. And we've done lots of composition projects with our students over the years and done little self-published books of scores. So I've learned how to write their music into scores, but I do love to sit down and improvise as well. So, but I'm learning lots from the composers, and some of them have been giving me the nudge like, hey, Amie, maybe you should write something. So you never know. Maybe that's in my future.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Can I ask Amie something?
Yeah.
You bet.
Is it easier to teach younger kids? I mean, like I heard that the subconscious mind is, kind of set by the time you're 7. But if you teach them like before then or not too long after that it's easier to mold their minds. Is that true?
I like that question. I think in the past we were really rooted to the fact that the brain was very patterned by a certain age and that the learning potential was lowered after. And then more recently in science, and I'm not a scientist, but I know that the neural pathways are much more plastic than they realize. So there's actually immense brain growth and that can happen at any stage of development. So I do love the youthfulness. I think there is something to young students that they will experiment without apology. Whereas as an older student, people will think, is it good or isn't it good? And that's sometimes the biggest barrier, isn't whether or not they're capable of it, but maybe their perception of, is it good enough, is a battle that we all have to fight as artists and creators, right? We could go straight down that creator path. Am I good enough? Is this good enough?
Yeah, I've done a whole show about imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That is a great radio voice. Okay. Hank. Yeah.
That must be talking. I was about to say, I thought they were talking about Amie. So
no, it's
could be. Say I would make my own whiskey if it weren't highly illegal without the amount and the paperwork and licensing needed.
Get
Mommy
back to
guys,
practicing.
yeah,
That's
mommy guys,
fair.
sorry for coming late. Mommy, Lala, I really love your new logo, by the way. That is very cool.
Oh, is that
She's
Lala?
It is Lala.
Yeah.
Yep, she's shouting out to you guys, Hank and Amy. There's Sammy Superstar saying hi to everyone.
I see.
Hope all is well. Florence, Matt, dang it, John, Vince,
Hello,
Sammy.
Lala.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello, Lala. David, great to see you, my friend. Great to see Amy and Hank with Roy today. Hey, Lala. Hey, Lala. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. So thanks to everyone being. If you have a question, put a cue in front of it so Roy can easily spot it. Yep. There's a certain muscle memory to where my fingers want to go on a musical keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks in advance for everyone smashing that like button. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I definitely appreciate that. So next up, I want to talk about challenges. I added time to my comments, and now they hang out longer than they're supposed to. There we go. Go away. All right, I'm gonna have to play with that. There we go. I
Get
said
outta
it
here.
16 seconds. That's what happens. You make a change right before the show. So anyway, let's talk about challenges that you guys have had in your content creation journey. What kind of could be gear. I like Hank. You were talking about how you had to learn how to use all the gear before you got into it. For me, it was perfectionism, and I thought I had to have everything perfect before I could even go live. And thankfully, things like Lita, that Loria Petrucci, and other programs like that helped me get past that. And now I'm an adrenaline junkie, and I get excited about doing these live shows. So, what kind of challenges? We'll start with you, Amy. What kind of challenges you had, kind of in your content creation? It could be the internet went out one night, or your camera didn't work, or just what kind of things like that have you run into, or just coming up with ideas, and how have you overcome those challenges?
Oh, yeah, great questions, Roy. So I think for me, one of the biggest obstacles was finding my niche, and that's been really, really tricky because I felt like in real life when I'm teaching, I was teaching from really young beginners to advanced students, and then I was also working alongside teachers. So niche was really tricky for me, and I think niche is pretty important with success on YouTube. And yet I think I've lived in spaces of fear of failure and um, that imposter syndrome for too long. Like musicianship is ripe with that. Like you're going to find so many, they're like, oh, I can play great songs, but not good enough. And so there's always those barriers. And so I'd actually had a stroke where I couldn't use my right hand anymore. And
Wow.
nothing improves your attitude like then getting something back and being like, well, I can now play the piano and I couldn't 10 years ago, so I'm really, really thankful. So that bit of gratitude is like, you know what, I'm just gonna put myself out there. So I think niche was tricky for me, and then audio has been really tricky for me because kind of doing the MIDI plus the audio interface plus getting video at the same time was really challenging for me, and I still don't have it solved, and I'm yeah, that something is a work in progress. And yet people have been so gracious from how raw I started, basically just play a piece through and upload it with zero edits. I've come a long way.
Yeah. I was gonna say that it seems like right now YouTube is looking for authenticity. They're looking for people to be real. It seems to be pulling away from the stunts and stuff like that. I mean, Mr. Beast will always get his audience, of course, because he's the master at what he does. But it just seems like we're getting away from that, and authenticity is what people are more focused on. Hank, how about you? Challenges. What is your thought? What do you think about authenticity? You think that's something that YouTube is looking for, and if so, what's your stance on that? How do you handle your content creation? How do you come up with your ideas?
I think it's I know that a lot of people do or don't like him, but kind of the Joe Rogan concept, and I've kind of mentioned this on the surface earlier, but if you're really just kind of going back and forth having a conversation. Like let's say I'm a famous, let's say I'm a a famous actor or something like that, right? And we do a whole 3 hours without talking about any of the movies I did. We just have a conversation back and forth. That's authentic because
Yeah.
the idea is to get people to like you. And I don't know what, I don't really understand whether people like me or not, but the idea is to do the best I can by being authentic. So absolutely, authenticity
Mhm.
is great. I mean, whether I don't see any other aspect of life that you can, be authentic and record it more than a podcast if you do it correctly, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that challenges learning the gear and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite piece of gear right now? Have you picked one?
Oh, my favorite piece of gear, man. That's a good. You know what? My microphone.
Yeah.
I'm pro Shure SM7B. That's what this is, and
Yeah.
Michael Jackson recorded Off the Wall and Thriller on it.
Wow.
Rogan uses it. Some of the biggest names was Freddie Mercury sang Bohemian Rhapsody through it, and so I love this microphone. They just created a new one that has a gain inside of it, but I don't trust something with a built-in gain yet. And no, and Laura Davison, if you're watching this, I apologize for saying that. But but this has been the mic. I mean, before I had a tragedy, 8 months ago.
Mm.
The greatest. I mean, I had my previous Shure SM7B for 23 years, so it's stood the test of time forever. I mean, it's been around for almost 50 years, 45, really, something like that. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is my favorite piece of gear. I love the Shure SM7B, and it's so cool.
Amie, have you kind of picked your favorite piece of gear that you're currently using for your content creation?
Oh, that's a great question. I haven't totally thought it through, but although my mic isn't as fabulous as that, I was using a really wonderful Rode mic, but I actually love my headset because when I'm teaching online, I move around a lot, and I realized I was a very busy person to
Yeah.
be with a stationary mic. I was just always between moving cameras. I also teach online, and so I stand up when I have my camera angle reversed. I have it over the keys and I stand up a lot. So this is actually my favorite, is just I've got an Audio Technics
Hmm.
headset and I can move wherever I like, so it's good for me.
Yeah.
I like it. I
Yep.
like it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
I like it too.
Sounds
I
great.
see.
Yeah, thank you.
Dagan saying hi to Lala. Question here. So it says, is an iPad app used with online piano teaching? If so, what app?
Oh, great questions. I love all these music questions. So, with online teaching, for me, when I'm teaching, I just meet students however we meet. We did it on Zoom for a long time. Now I'm using a program called Musico that we pay for, but the student doesn't pay for. But lots of students, if they're learning online, there are definitely lots of apps like Flowkey and Simply Piano. And I'm not really a hater. Like, I love things that expose more people to music making.
Mm.
So even though lots of teachers get our knickers in a knot with different app learning, I think there's definitely a place for it, and people can learn in marvelous ways. Goes with that plasticity of the brain, right? That we're always learning.
Mm. There's another question for you, Amie. It wants to know, do you accept online students?
I do, yeah. I usually have a pretty full list, but people are always welcome to email. I'm at
Okay.
motifmusicstudios@gmail.com, and I definitely am happy to either start with someone or recommend them to someone as well.
Lala also says, "Oh wow, Amie, you are an inspiration. Cheering you on. Yes, please continue
No,
on."
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Amy.
Yeah, thank you.
John says, "Oh yeah, MIDI and virtual instruments and audio routing can be tricky. Is Amie also using Ecamm Live?" No, John, she's not. She's used OBS.
Oh
I
man.
think you
She's
have been doing OBS a lot lately, John. So
Yeah,
we'll try to
I actually haven't used OBS yet, but StreamYard is my stream, but I'm
okay,
liking this Ecamm. That's looking great.
yeah,
Yeah, no, we'll convert you.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I have an affiliate link right there in the description of this live show. So if you
Oh,
want to get my affiliate link there,
Love
but
it.
I do recommend waiting until Black Friday and closer because there's going to be a deal definitely. Um, Matt also says my piano videos are by far the most technically challenging. 3 cameras, MIDI, DAW, FCP, syncing video, audio, etc. So
I'm so glad I'm not alone.
yeah, I gotta
I gotta
imagine that.
see those.
Mommy God says it is a blessing to meet Hank in Creator Camp. His content creation
Oh,
journey is an inspiration, and his positivity is very inspiring. And I
oh,
definitely
well,
agree with that. So
well, thank you, Lala. You know, we talked the last time we talked at Creator Camp. She was going to come on my show, so
yeah,
eventually we'll have her on my show really soon. So I look forward to it, and I need to buy some of her products, man. She's talented.
she's got new gear now. She's got a camera,
Ooh,
and now she's got an Elgato Stream Deck, 32 key Stream Deck. So
ooh.
she's
Same
getting
here.
decked out. She's been using the same camera for a long time, and now she has options. So she had an unboxing video Saturday morning on her channel. So
Oh,
um,
really? I need to subscribe to that. Lala, I
yeah,
apologize. I keep I'll subscribe to that as soon as I get off here.
yeah. Mommy Got Ink. Amazing. She's got 7,000 plus subscribers now. So I'm like,
Wow.
I knew her when she was starting the channel, and she's just one of those inspiring people. Just
Mm.
an amazing, amazing lady. So just really appreciate how she does. So, what's Hank? What is your? I mentioned a little bit though. What is your process for coming up with content? You know, besides bringing in guests and just letting things happen organically, do you have a process?
Do I have a process? I, I not necessarily. I'm once again I'm inspired by like what I've done in the past and those that are around and some of the biggest names now. And the biggest names now, you know, they don't have like one particular niche.
Right.
So I don't have a process as far as like I I try to interview people based upon whatever it is that I find interesting at that moment. You know, I mean, I love interviewing mental health therapists, but I've only had a few on. And
Mm-hmm.
if anybody knows anybody that wants to be interviewed, you know, like this, I'd love it. And I've
Yeah.
tried to find them, but then if I can't find that, then I'll find, I'll find whatever it is that I find interesting that day, and somebody in that field that is, you know, put themselves out there on social media and stuff like that, and reach out to them and hope that they come on. And you know, I've had some success with that.
Yeah. That's neat.
Let's see. Um, let's see. She was just reiterating about being her dream, and then here,
Oh
let's
yeah.
see. Amie, I can relate. I have arthritis, and I couldn't use my hands for detailed work or play guitar. Meds gave that back to me.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. I'm
fantastic!
so glad.
Yeah.
You can
Same
use a
system.
slide guitar.
Says SM7B is such a great mic. Yes, it
It,
is.
it really is, Sam.
Matt uses the Heel PR40, which is also a great mic. I do like that mic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
The
is.
headset is a great idea for people who move to demonstrate things. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Mommy Guy says, thanks, Amie. We'll reach out. And StreamYard's great. Yes, it is.
Uh,
Stephen Wicks, hello, fellow campers. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Woohoo.
hey,
Uh,
Steven, how you doing?
yeah. So, welcome to the program. I don't know if you've been here before, sir, but thanks for coming. Mommy Lala says, "Oh wow, thanks, Hank. Yes, it is an honor to be a future guest, Hank." And then Mommy got saying hi to Steven. So, yep. All right, cool. I like everybody
Neat.
saying hi to everybody. Um, and now I gotta wait for my comment to go away. Go away. There we go. There. I'll just do it that way. Yeah. So I said 16 seconds, and so anyway, I make mistakes on this show. We just go with it. Live is live. Live is
Yeah.
live. Um, so, the other thing we talk about on this show is kind of, and the whole point of this show is to inspire other creators and have them move forward. What are your plans in the future for your channels? What are you looking to do next? What's the next big thing you both think you'll be doing? So, Amie, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, that's again a great question because it's just always shifting and changing, but it's always great to have those questions that make you think as well. I think I've kept it a guilt-free zone for me because I've had a lot of things in the last 14 years that are like you have to do and you've got to you got to keep a schedule and you've got to be mentoring a big team. And so I really am keeping the channel pretty guilt free, so that if I have a day I'm not up for an upload, or if I want to randomly upload way too many at once, I just have to be like, you know what, it's okay. It's guilt free. I think as a goal, I would obviously love that just little bit of monetization aspect, but I've been super grateful to also remember ad revenue's not where it's at really with monetization. So even though I'm fairly close to that, the subscribers are on track, and then just
Right.
waiting for the rest of the watch time. Um, but more importantly, I'd love to have that impact of, affiliate links and sponsorship links starting to grow. And I'm already seeing that. So I was contacted recently by some big theory boards and a few things like that that are looking very promising. So I think that's something that I'll be leaning into as well, is just like that sponsorship or affiliate. And then we have some beautiful clients at Motif Music Studios that I met through the channel, and I've already been with Motif a few years. So that's, of course, so
Wow.
valuable and wonderful to have those long-lasting relationships. So
Hmm.
that's the next step, is just grow and keep it guilt-free, because I definitely get very hyper focused on things to do with creation. And so I'm always trying to balance the fact I also have 3 kids under 10 years old. So 3
Wow.
boys.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
It's
Hank, how about
wild.
you? What's next for you, sir? Obviously, you're gonna have Lala on your show, so that's next. But if you what's coming up in the near future on your show?
You know, as far as what's coming on my show, just simply the guests that I have booked. But the next thing for my show is to figure out a way to chop down my videos with Ecamm. There is a way to do it, but I forgot how to do it, and turn them into like maybe 5 to 20 minute videos, so
Mm-hmm.
that I can get the good stuff on there. And
Mhm.
there's obviously more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to making short videos. Those short videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the next thing that I'm learning to do now. But as far as like the show itself, just put on the guests that I have coming up, booked up on there. It's nothing too special. Just trying to figure out a way to get my name out there, and try to figure a
Mm-hmm.
way to you know progress when it comes to the guest. And I always have an end goal. There is an end goal, and but as far as what's next, just keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you do to promote your channel, or to kind of promote yourself? What are your strategies for promotion?
Honestly, at this point, because I have to I have to create the content in order to promote it. So unless somebody has a better way, I don't know what kind of I don't know any other way than create the content and like put my stuff like on TikTok and YouTube and short videos and stuff like that. And I've had people reached out to me through specifically like YouTube, shorts and stuff like that. So that's the best that I can do right now.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
until I figure out a better system.
Amie, what kind of stuff do you do to promote your channel or your content?
Yeah, I think one thing, and this might benefit Hank too, but over time, I am seeing that at first I was sharing maybe even too excitedly, because I was often grabbing, friends and family, and I have a big sphere of wonderful, supportive people. Um, but now that I'm starting to niche in, I do spend a lot of time in music teacher groups, and because I'm promoting composers, I also see that they are so more active now in sharing what I'm doing. And so that's a big benefit, especially since some of the pieces aren't as well known. So they're not those big viral hits, but hopefully they're bringing value and great music to other pianists and other teachers. So that's been big.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Oh, let's. I'll change
I'll
scenes
lean in.
there. There we go. There's a good scene. Um, yeah. Let's see what else. We got some more folks out there. Let's see what else everybody's saying. Hang on. Let's catch up. Mm,
Oh, yay.
let's see. I'm guessing. Oh, Hank, we have a friend, Adam, who just recently started his content about mindset. Maybe you could collaborate. Good stuff.
Lala, write me on my Facebook Messenger, and I'll
Yeah.
definitely talk to him.
Yep. Piano Awesome. So that's Matt.
Oh,
Matt has Awesome Wood
wow.
Things. That's his Piano Awesome channel that he does.
Oh, that's so cool.
Rodrigo. Hi, Roy. How you doing?
Elo. Hello, Elo. How are you, my friend?
Matt,
Call me.
you're really awesome. You have another channel. Yes, Matt has like a bunch of channels.
Oh, that's so
Uh,
cool.
Walter Strong, Hank, what has been your process in bringing new guests to interview on your video podcast?
Snowball effect. You know, I when I first started, like I've got probably a good 15 ready to go right now, and so I've about 15 or so ready to go right now. But when I first started, I booked like remember I told you it took me 2.5 years to kind of get this started, but in the middle of the process, I was reaching out to people, and
Mm.
I reached out to this one guest in an interview, and then somebody who watched the channel that was a well-respected content creator or whatever reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'll come on your show." And that's how I reach out, is that if you've ever read the book The Compound Effect, that's kind of how compound fracturing works and stuff like that,
Mm.
is our fractions work, is that you kind of start with a penny and work it up to like $1 million. And that's what I'm doing right now, is that I interviewed Andrew Cap, and then I interviewed this guy who lost 400 pounds in 2 years, and he's got a guy on there that watches him, and then it snowballs into that, and then there's a famous pro wrestler who helps people out. So that's how I've done it, is that you just kind of have to hustle, and then trust that it snowballs into something else.
Yep, definitely.
Neat. It's a lot of preparation. A lot of preparation to interview guests. I'm in awe.
Yeah, it definitely takes just getting them booked sometimes is the hardest part. Once I get them on, it all works out. But just sometimes just getting them booked on the show, it gets to be a challenge at times as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
When I first booked someone, I actually sent a link. I was hyperactive about it, and I sent a link, and I had 5 live stream times, and I just said, if anyone wants to try this, this is the booking link. And all 5 were gone in 6 hours, and that's why I was like, oh no, now I have to learn how to do this. Yeah.
Dr. Elo says, saying hi to everybody, saying hi to Lala. There's Amy's channel. I'm going to show you feature your channels here in just a sec, but there's a link in the chat there. So definitely click on that. Thanks, Lala. Elo. Matt, what's up?
What's up?
This is Hank's
What's up?
channel. Yep.
Cool.
Oh, well,
Yep.
thank you.
We're gonna,
Thank you, Lala.
and I do have links
Well,
to both of their channels in the description, so please go and visit their channels. And I think you will definitely enjoy it and should subscribe to their channels. Dr. Elo, everybody's saying hi to Dr. Elo. Try Descript to repurpose.
oh
So
yeah.
Stressed Out and Stress Free says you should do Descript. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Descript. Adrian Salisbury has mentioned it numerous times in his academy, but I'm not even sure what Descript 100% is.
Yeah. Well, it's really neat because it does, it basically transcribes your video, and then you can edit the transcription. And when you edit the transcription, it actually takes out that portion of the video for you. So if you say
Really?
you can edit it out in Descript, and it then automatically takes out the from the video for you. Takes
Yeah.
that snippet out. So it's really
And
neat.
that's good if you're doing a presentation, but if you're doing like a conversation back and forth, we talked about authenticity. I wouldn't take out the ums or the ahs and all that stuff, because I think it would take away. If you look at some of the best in the world that do this, or at least the ones that are the most well known, they don't. They might even mock themselves.
So
You know,
my favorite word is so. I say so way too often. So I was watching an interview I had done with Doc Rock. I probably said so in like a 2 minute moment for about 10 times because it's one of my I'm nervous words.
yeah.
And
I had a
so,
friend of when I was on the radio. I had a friend of mine. He used the word "like" a lot, and he was doing it over. And I said, if you say "like" one more time, my head's going to explode. So, you sound kind of like submissive and feminine and everything like that. So every time you do it, just beat the table like I'm gonna like and beat. And so
Ah.
no, that's funny. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. We got some more comments out there. Let's see. More folks saying hi to everybody. Lala said, amazing plans for Amie and Hank.
That's right. She's got the
Yeah.
wrench.
Dr. Elo saying hi, everybody. Everybody says you can further help Roy buy me a coffee. Thank you, Lala.
Yes.
I make all my shorts in Descript. I've been playing with Opus Pro. So if anybody's interested, send me a link to one of your videos, and I can send you what Opus Pro generates out of it, because I have like
Opus Plus or Opus Pro? Yeah, I need to do
Opus
that.
Plus, Opus Pro. It's called the pins. It's got like multiple things. It's Opus something. So, I want.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Next up, I want to, if you want to just kind of give it a snippet and see what it does with the video, pick a video you want to try it with, and then we'll do that. I'll show you what it'll do. So, hang on here. I want to show your channels. So, here is Hank's channel here. Yeah, so the Hank Russell invitation. So, definitely recommend going out there. Like I said, there's a link in my description for this live stream. So, definitely click on that and go visit that. And then here is Motif Music Studios. Yeah, and I'm definitely enjoying the Charlie Brown Christmas stuff, because I'm just such a big fan.
Thank you.
So yeah, but anyway, definitely like the very diverse interviews you've been doing on your channel, Hank. That's really cool. So
Thank you.
So definitely go and visit both those channels and subscribe. I do recommend that. Those guys are awesome. So I got some more people saying more stuff. Let's see what they're saying. All right. Cancel. Let's see. Hey there, everyone. Adam, glad to see you back going live again, sir. Let's see. My filler phrase is "in any case," and I cringe every time I say it. Yeah, my filler phrase, Hank a fam. I don't know what you're saying, Lala. Hank a fam. Does that ring a bell with you?
Hank Ecam.
I don't know. It could be talking about Ecam fam. Yeah, could be. So, yeah, definitely. So, you got this whole process. And Amie, how long have you had a YouTube channel?
I think we're going on close to 3 years. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And Hank, how long have you had yours, sir?
Slightly under 6 months. It's at least it's. Oh, I've had it. Well, I've had it, but I haven't done anything with it. So we'll go with 6 months, just to be fairly honest.
Yeah. No, it's good
well, we
stuff.
had the channel. We had the channel for 13 years, but we just didn't use it.
I love it.
I started in 2010, and actually had some videos blow up, and I didn't even know it. And
wow.
Then I go back and find out, oh wow, I should have done something with this. So, so I teach college part-time, and I will do tutorial videos and upload them to YouTube, because that's where I originally used YouTube for, because I didn't want to have to repeat myself the same thing over and over again. So some of those tutorials have done really well. But anyway, Lala says she was trying to say that Hank Adam is in the chat. He's the one that has a channel about mindset. Hi, Adam.
Oh, I'd love to have him in there.
X1.
I'd love to have Adam on my show.
Yeah, you guys should talk. So, you can always message me or message Lala. Lala can message him through Facebook chat and get that all going there. So yeah. Whoa, and there's stuff there. All right. Okay. So, other than your YouTube channel, do you guys want to talk about other places people can find you? You guys anywhere else out in the social medias?
Social?
Yeah.
You first.
Facebook, Instagram. Amie, we'll start with you. How about that? Make it easier.
Yeah, I have an Instagram for Motif Music Studios. It's just the same handle. And I also have one for the series Coffee with Composers. And that's just specific to the pieces I'm sharing from composers. And then we have a website, motifmusicstudios.com. So those are all places you can find us.
Cool. Hank, what's all the major places we can find you?
Well, let's see. Instagram is a good one. You can contact me in the Instagram Messenger. The Hank Russell invitation on Facebook. I'm kind of a little bit weak on that one. That's the one that needs to be improved the most. I have done some things with it, but I need to get more interactive with that. And like I said, on Instagram, it's Hank Russell, no spaces.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's see. Oh, wow, we got some more comments here. We'll,
See what we got.
let's see. Let's see. I've had mine for 3 years, and I'm just getting started.
Woohoo!
It's cool.
Hey, X1D. So anyway, yeah, definitely. It is what it is. The magic of YouTube. Have thoroughly enjoyed the journey so far. It's been a lot of fun. So, what do you guys? What is your favorite part about your content creation journey so far? And we'll mix it. We'll start with Hank this time.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's see. What's my favorite part about the content creation journey? Honestly, getting to know the people in Ecamm. I know that has nothing to do with my personal content, but as far as what I'm doing, but it's been great having, this kind of second family in
Yeah.
many aspects, first family, especially when I went out of town to visit, so it's good to make new online friends. And I wouldn't do this if there wasn't a sense of community, or at least a potential for a sense of community. I don't do anything in life unless there is potential for being around others.
Yeah. How about you, Amie?
Yeah, mine's similar. I've been home lots and kind of in the work driven, focused life for a long time. And I think the content creation, the surprising was connections like you guys are saying, because just meeting a content creator community that's so supportive of each other. And then for myself, meeting composers now that any time of the day or night, I'm like, oh, yeah, from the UK, someone's messaged me, or someone from across the world. And so I think it's just expanded my borders, being like really neat to just build genuine, authentic friendships in lots of different places. So I love that part.
So, if you had one piece of advice for any content creator just starting out, what would it be?
Hmm. Myself, I think what people told me was to niche down early, know your audience. I didn't bother. um, but niching is helpful, although sometimes you have to just push record and your audience finds you over time because you're always transforming as a person, right? So, not getting stuck and staying connected to your why probably is what's going to keep your content authentic and what will hopefully draw people to you.
Hmm, okay. Hank, how about you, sir? What would your one piece of advice be for any content creators just kind of starting out?
I would say keep people. Don't be the smartest person in the room. Keep
Hmm.
people that are wiser around you. And put your ego in check. We all have that mindset of, well, I paid my dues, and I don't want to have to pay dues again, and all that stuff. But then when you're starting something new, if you really want to progress at a little bit quicker than you want to, then don't be the smartest person in the room. Keep people that are wiser than you at this.
Hmm.
That's why I
Like
invited you guys. So I'd have smarter people in the room. So,
I don't know
and
about that, but
that's part of the
Yeah.
journey that I enjoy is meeting people and definitely, as you mentioned, the community and the great people that are in chat and you guys and just I love this content creation journey. So it's just been amazing.
oh man,
Thank
absolutely.
thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being on the show tonight. And like I said, everybody, please go out and hit subscribe on those channels. Go give them a look. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And yeah, that's it. That's our show tonight. Let's see. I'm supposed to do some shameless self promotion here. Hang on. I have buttons for that.
Do
Woohoo.
it.
Let's see. First of all, when buttons work, hang on. What happened? That's crazy. All
That's
right.
okay.
No, it didn't work. Okay, here we go. I'm supposed to tell you about buying merch.
Mm.
So here you go. I'm having a sale. If you use code Trouble, on it will you can go and get $5 off anything on my merch shop. It's shop.techtroublemaker.com. So feel free to go out there. If the hat's my favorite. The second
Merch.
the second favorite is my shirt that says "Created to be a content creator." And also it's a beautiful time to be a content creator. Those are just my favorite. But anyway, I'm wearing one of those tonight. So, yep. And then let's see. I'm supposed to also shamelessly say subscribe to my channel. hit that like button. And I go live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. We got some final thoughts out there from the crowd. Let's see what we got here. Lala says, great advice from Amie and Hank. Thanks for sharing your amazing journey. And then she says, ooh, merch sale. So I'm having a merch sale. Trouble will get you $5 off on my merch. So
Merch.
thank you so much. And that's it. That's our show. Amie and Hank, thank you so much again for being on the show, and thank you everybody in the community for coming in and hanging out with us tonight. If you're watching a replay, drop me a hashtag replay, so I know that you came by. So anyway, here we go, and we're out of here. YouTube is going to tell you this amazing video I'm going to put right here to watch next. And you should trust YouTube. Whatever YouTube says is my best video, that's what you should watch next. So thanks, and everybody have a wonderful evening. And thanks for watching my channel. Bye.